Hi, I'm Liz Fitzgerald. I'm co-founder and chief training officer of Assert Empowerment and Self-Defense. Thank you for joining us again. Today we're going to talk about the goals and rules of self-defense. We need to know exactly what it is we're trying to achieve in a self-defense situation. The number one rule, goal, however you want to call it, the only thing we're ever trying to do in a self-defense situation is escape. There is no other option but escape. That's how we're going to survive. Self-defense isn't about fighting or bringing the person that's attacking you to justice. It doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, child. Your goal is not to apprehend your attacker. Your goal is to escape your attacker. It's very important that we remember this because it leads us to an extremely difficult potential choice. I have children myself. My husband and I have spoken to our children, and we all are of the same understanding. If we're all together and something was to happen, we will leave each other behind. This may sound a little heartless, but the truth is that by making sure that someone gets out, regardless of what's happening behind them, we increase the chance that everyone will survive. If no one gets out to get help, no one's going to come to your assistance or that of your loved ones. So it is very important that you understand that you're running in order to get help, to save yourself and to get help for those that you love. They're trying to do the same thing. They need to try and escape and do the same for you. It's also a good idea to maybe have a place to meet after an event when everyone is safe, separate from the house, the car, the places of work, the school. But it is important that everyone in the family understand that you're not leaving them behind. Rather, you're going to get help so that they can make it through also. This leads us to our attacker. Our attackers have two major tools in their tool belt. Everything else falls under these two categories. They have a plan and they have intimidation and fear. If you can disrupt either one of those two, he's going to move on and look at someone else, or decide that you're not the target for him or her. There are women attackers as well. We want to make sure that we're aware that they are trying to control us by threat of injury, by threat of harming one of our loved ones. In the case of cyberbullying and bullying, it could be a threat of revealing embarrassing things about us. These are all threats. These are all manipulations. This is their way of intimidating you into doing what you want, what they want you to do, not what you would do on your own. You must take that into consideration and remember that your number one goal is escape, because those manipulations lead to a really terrible place, and it's called crime scene number 2. Crime scene number 2 is where everything is in favor of your attacker. They have isolation, they've got time, and they've got all of the tools at their disposal to make their plan go the way they want it. So our goal again, number one, absolute goal is escape, because we have to avoid crime scene number 2 at all costs. I want you to also remember that there is absolutely no possession in your life right now or at any point that is worth your life or the life of those that you love. If they ask for your car, if they ask for your purse, for your wallet, if they break into your house and you get home and they're in the middle of robbing you blind, you run. It doesn't make a difference. Those things you can replace. You can't replace your life. Forget about your possessions and always aim for escape. Our second rule and goal is to expect injury. Why do we expect injury? Simple. Like I mentioned before, your assailant has two tools: intimidation and a plan. By expecting injury, we're able to disrupt their ability to manipulate us and to talk us into doing things that we don't want to do. They lose control over us. Remember that when a violent person is in charge of a situation, it's always going to get worse. It needs to be de-escalated. You need to take control back of the situation. You can't ask for mercy from someone that has no mercy. If they had mercy, they wouldn't be attacking you. By expecting injury, we're far less likely to stop fighting. And that leads us to rule number 3, which is never give up. It doesn't matter how far along in the criminal timeline you are, you can't stop fighting at any given moment. You have to unleash your indomitable spirit, and you can never give up. Time on the side of your attacker only works against you. Crime scene 1, where your initial interaction takes place, is where you have the most options. So this is where you want to immediately, asymmetrically, and explosively react. Here you have the ability to fight your way out of crime scene number 2. However, if you get knocked out in crime scene number 1, if something happens and you still end up in crime scene number 2, that doesn't mean that you stop fighting and that it's all over. It just means that you have to fight harder. You need to do whatever is necessary to deny your attacker isolation and time. Those 2 factors never work in your favor. I want you to please remember that your number 1 goal will always be escape. By expecting injury and never giving up, you increase your chances of doing that exponentially. We hope you found this information useful, and we'll see you next time.